Hi, my name's Rick Deitch. I'm a biochemist, and I'm a little different in the field because I'm both a nutritional and a pharmaceutical biochemist. What I want to talk to you about today is natural zeolites. So first of all, what are zeolites? So zeolites are naturally occurring compounds. They're formed usually in volcanic eruptions when the ash and the lava goes into salt water, and over thousands and thousands of years through heat and pressure form crystalline lattices, a crystal shape that becomes a natural zeolite. So zeolites are unique for a variety of reasons. First of all, they form a cage-like structure. If you saw this crystal, it's got a lot of space inside. Now, not only does it have that crystalline shape and that cage-like structure, it also carries a negative charge. So because of zeolite's cage-like structure and its negative charge, it has the ability to draw to itself and trap within itself a variety of different compounds, primarily heavy metals. Now, we use a zeolite called clinoptilolite. Clinoptilolite, because of its cage-like structure and the pore size of that particular zeolite, just loves toxic heavy metals like mercury and lead and cadmium and arsenic. And it doesn't like the good metals like calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, sodium, potassium. It's really good at separating out the good from the bad. The reason is the smaller the metal and the higher the charge, the greater the affinity for the zeolite. So it just so happens that all the things that are bad for us are small with a high charge, and all things that are good for us are bigger with a lower charge. So even though clinoptilolite has this huge history of traditional medicine, traditional use in detoxification and things like that, we know there's problems with it. When I first started looking at zeolites in the 90s, I looked at clinoptilolite and I looked at some products that were basically capsules or powders that had the clinoptilolite in it, and I knew there were problems with it. The first problem is it was too big. The powder that comes out of a zeolite mine site is usually anywhere from 5 microns to 200 microns, like a rough granular sand. That's way too big to be absorbed from the digestive tract into the bloodstream. I came up with my first process, a micronization process. So using high pressure and centrifugation, I crush the zeolite over and over and over again to make it smaller and smaller and smaller, where my average particle size is smaller than a micron, and the smallest particles are as small as 390 nanometers, 0.39 microns. That's certainly small enough to be absorbed from the digestive tract into the bloodstream. Now, since I launched my zeolite, there's been dozens of competitors that came to market, and they all claim the same thing. They use my research and my studies to try to support their products. But in every one of these cases, we've not been able, in any single case, to identify zeolite in the bloodstream of people using those products. So we don't know if that even gets in. We just haven't seen it. The second problem with the natural zeolites is that they're dirty. Zeolites are really good at sucking up toxins and heavy metals. So even in the zeolite mine site, anytime air blows through that mine site and water flows through it, the zeolite's sucking up all those toxins and heavy metal. And if you don't do some sort of cleaning process, that's in the finished product. Now, I'm not saying they're dangerous, because the zeolite is so good at holding on to them, it's not exchanged out into the body. But if it's already full of all those high affinity compounds, how much can it take out of your body? How much detoxifying can it do? So in our lab, we came up with our activation process. We use high heat and ultra purified water and natural acids to first drive off the volatile organic compounds, and then to force the exchange of heavy metals for good metals. So the best analogy I can come up with this process is look at a kitchen sponge. So if the sponge is dirty, if it's full of stuff, how clean is it going to be able to get your kitchen, get your counters? But if you take it to the sink and you rinse it out and you clean it out and squeeze it out, now it's got tons of room, tons of space in it to be able to clean your kitchen. That's kind of what we do with our proprietary micronization activation process. And I have to tell you, no one else does this. Since I launched my zeolite product, my first commercial zeolite product in 2004, we've been knocked off dozens of times. And we've looked at every one of those products, and in many cases we can't even find zeolite in the product at all. And when we do, it's something that hasn't been micronized or activated. In many cases, people say they don't have to activate the zeolite because it comes from a pure source. Well, there's no such thing. There's no pure place or pristine place left on Earth. When we clean out the zeolite, we actually measure what comes out of it, and in one batch we saw some volatile organic compounds come out, and we measured it, and it came back as diesel fuel exhaust, which means even the manufacturing equipment that's mining the zeolite is creating toxins that are being pulled into the zeolite. So unless you're doing a process like ours, an activation process, that stuff is in the final product. Now, our product has actually been around since 2004. It's the subject of 15 clinical studies, and 3 of the studies we actually wrapped up into one study that was published in a peer-reviewed journal, and that study is available. But we've looked at this time and time and time again for its benefits, and the 3 major benefits are pretty basic. It removes toxin and heavy metals from the body, therefore making the body healthier, and a cleaner, healthier body fixes itself. The second thing is through that activation process, we actually help stabilize pH, and we make the body more alkaline. And you want the body in an alkaline state, which puts it into an antiviral, antibacterial, anti-cancer state. And then lastly, it helps support and stabilize your immune system because of those other mechanisms. This product is something that when people find out about it, everybody wants it. Everybody needs it. Everybody on the planet, and this is the only place to get it.